Hi there. Today we're going to talk about channels and bands and how they relate to radio waves. So let's say I have my Bluetooth headphones connected to my phone. So these are transmitting information on the 2.4 gigahertz band. A band represents a range of frequencies that information can be sent through. You can think of these bands like a highway. Here, like that. So now, the channel represents the individual lanes on this highway. When my headphones connect to my phone, they choose a channel to connect on. So now, this frequency, the gigahertz, basically radio waves are a type of electromagnetic wave. So this frequency represents how long it takes for this wave to make one oscillation. So if you imagine like an actual like C wave, that would be like how long it takes to go up, how long it takes to go down, and how long it takes to return to this base resting position. So if you take something, instead of waves, if you take something like Wi-Fi, for example, instead of this 2.4 gigahertz, they'll have 5 gigahertz. So now, the reason Bluetooth operates on 2.4 gigahertz instead of 5 gigahertz is because this 2.4 gigahertz has a longer range. That means I can go longer, I can go further from my phone when it's on 2.4 gigahertz as opposed to if they were sending the information over Wi-Fi. The reason for this is because with these lower frequencies, you get what's called a higher wavelength. So for Bluetooth, for 2.4 gigahertz, that wavelength is around 12 centimeters. So that means when the wave comes into contact with a wall, it's a lot easier for it to just bounce off without getting absorbed than it would be for this 5 gigahertz band where they're around 6 centimeters. That's why Wi-Fi, like modern Wi-Fi networks, even behind me, most of them will have what's called a mesh network. You'll have the router, and then around the house you'll have these, like I have an Eero behind me. It's like this little box, and the point of it is to basically take the information and spread it over a longer distance. Because without that, there's probably just not enough range for the Wi-Fi to cover an entire house. Now, the reason we use this higher 5 gigahertz range is because it has what's called a higher bandwidth. So if you think about this 2.4 gigahertz range, by definition, the range of frequencies this wave can occupy is from like 2.40 bar 1 to 2.49 bar gigahertz. So there's like a little under 0.1 gigahertz, or that would be around 100 megahertz of range. Now for the 5 gigahertz range, for the 5 gigahertz band, there's from 5 to 6. So now if you think about that, that's over 10 times the bandwidth that, as opposed to 2.4 gigahertz. So the reason Wi-Fi uses 5 gigahertz is because with that 1000 gigahertz of range, you can transmit a lot more data because you can send a lot more waves with less fear of there being interference. Now, a lot of things use this 2.4 gigahertz band. Like even your microwave uses 2.4 gigahertz to heat up your food. So I hope that explains what I was talking about well, and have a nice day.